Ladies and gentlemen, this is an article that came out in the week, Suicide in the Chimera of American Prosperity, and this is November 30th, 2018. Suicide is going off the charts in America. And they said the last time it was this high was probably 50 years ago. But it is, you can just say it's another epidemic going on in the country. It's happening so often, and it's rising even more. And I can tell it's getting bad because these articles are coming out more often than I have ever seen them before. If you are the sort of person who need the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to inform you that Americans are miserable, it's now official. According to the nation's top public health agency, the rate at which we are killing ourselves is higher than it has been in half a century. So it is going through the roof. So it's just talking about all the advances and everything going on in America and around the globe, and what do people have to show for it? Suicide. You know, you have to wonder what all the factors are. Some of these people are just naturally miserable. And you can even tell that when they come and chat with you online. These are just naturally miserable people. I don't care what you give them. You can give them this earth and another one that looks exactly like it, and they would still find a way to be miserable because this is just in their nature to be that way. So if you're looking for an explanation, I don't know what to tell you except for I don't know if it's a case where some of these people are not prepared properly for life, because we do have a lot of delusional people out here that live off of fantasies that were told to them as they were being raised. And a lot of that stuff is not true. And I think a lot of these people also have a hard time competing out here in the real world. They're told things that are not true. Then when they encounter certain things, they are expecting to see to be a certain way, and it's not. I think that just rattles them. And some people I don't understand why suicide is so high, because some of these people got more of a disadvantage than we ever will have, but they're still sitting there and committing suicide. Go figure. Okay, just look at the other numbers. Rates of drug overdose are increasing, a trend to which voters have responded by legalizing marijuana in several states. Teenagers, especially girls, are mutilating their bodies with glass and knives with unspeakable regularity. We are having, all the school shootings. There's a lot of conversations about firearms and arming teachers and students coming in and killing and all of that stuff. Now, if you put 100,000 names in a hat, 14 of them will be people who take their own lives. This is about the same rate at which people own iguanas as pets. It is also impossible for it not to be personal. 8 of my wife's former classmates at one of the best public high school in one of the wealthiest zip codes in the wealthiest county in our state have killed themselves. That doesn't matter. Money is not a factor when it comes down to suicide. It doesn't matter. If that's the case, then a lot of people should not have killed themselves if it was over money. It will be tempting for some liberal to argue that the drug and suicide epidemic, which is most pronounced in states like West Virginia and in the post-industrial Midwest, that is muted response of white Americans to the prospect of their irrelevance in a rapidly diversifying country. Oh, well, so you're saying that white people becoming minorities is a factor in them committing suicide? Hmm, interesting. I guess that word minority is just rattling their minds, right? But that's not what I think is happening. And it's just because David Duke probably says the same thing. For one thing, the despair that is underlying cause from these phenomena is universal. The difference is that Black and Hispanic communities have more hard won resilience than whites who have led increasingly um, more prosperous. Yeah, you have. I agree with that. You've had a much more prosperous kind of life than Black and Hispanics. That's why I don't understand why y'all commit most of the suicides. They live in self-segregated communities in which the only meaningful bond with their neighbors and even their extended family are those to which they have consented. Their experience has not prepared them for financial uncertainty, violence, atrophy, spans, and drug taking. For them, there really is no such thing as society. They have achieved Auden's terrible dream, not universal love, but being loved alone. Now they are discovering what it means to hate themselves alone as well. How did this happen? One thing that we must come to realize is that prosperity, in the sense in which it has been defined by economists and politicians, now is a chimera. Working the coupon center screen at CVS is not meaningful labor. Unlimited access to cheap consumer goods manufactured by foreign wage slaves is not leisure. Taking your children to a restaurant and handing them an iPad game is not parenting. Spending 4 hours a day waiting to see whether a star or a heart or an arrow has appeared next to a picture or a caption you have posted on a computer network is not community. Watching pornography is not human intimacy. Grinding away to achieve a certain test score is not education, nor is signing away half the price of a modest house in order to finance a 4-year pajama party. Taking drugs is not a reprieve from the misery of what you do with the rest of your time and cons- consumption of it. Okay, so I take it these people are having a hard time being happy, okay, or finding their footing in life. So I guess when nothing works out and all fails, killing themselves, that's the option. That's pretty sad. It's sad that you have been given the moon and stars and you are still killing yourself. There's something to be said about that. If we want to be happy again, we don't need fancier phones or even more realistic simulation of murder on our televisions. Don't even need higher wages or better health care, though both of those things would help. We need to live in a world, this world, not the digital. That's what he said, not the digital shit that we have such a hard time ignoring with one another. We need to do it with love of husband for wife, parent, child, neighbor for neighbor, and stranger for stranger. Oh, that sounds very fairy tale-ish, but we live in this world, and some of these people are just not lovable. They're just not. If that sounds okay, I don't know what he means by that, but anyway, he is saying pretty much a lot of these people are killing themselves because they are just miserable. Yeah, love may be the answer, but I'm sorry. I've met some of these suicidal people and they are not lovable at all. I don't know who raised them. I don't know what they were taught, what happened in their household, but something definitely went wrong with the way mommy and daddy handled that child. So the fact that they're suicidal now, not shocking. I've worked with people that were suicidal. And I tell you, I'll never forget. I trained a woman and she looked at me and said, I just want to kill myself. And I looked at her like she had three heads. I'm like, what? And finally, I got up and I went to my supervisor. I said, look, I'm trying to train this woman and she's sitting here talking about suicide and all this stuff. Maybe you need to take her. So she came out and got her. I look, my job was to sit here and train you, not fix your life. Okay, plain and simple. If you need all of that, then you see the supervisor, let her, y'all got high IQs and all, so y'all let her take care of that situation. But ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people walking around in this world that got all the advantages and they are still miserable. They are still unhappy and they want to kill themselves. Suicide in America in teen has been an exceptionally bad year. This is why these sort of articles are cropping up all the time. You can find them all the time. If you just Google or go out on Bing or whatever you like to use and just type in suicide, you'll get thousands of articles on this because it is a bad situation. You got this on top of all of the drug use that's going on, and people are dying from that. It is crazy. The dying in America right now is absolutely astronomical. It is far worse than what they're saying. And you can tell it's bad. You can tell it's bad by the way these people are acting, by all these bogus phone calls. Their lives are falling apart, y'all. Their lives are falling apart. These are very unhappy people on this planet. And it just go to show you all the generations they've been in America. One thing they have never achieved is real true happiness. And it just go to show you all these material items don't bring you happiness. All the wealth don't bring it either. There's been wealthy people that commit suicide too. It doesn't have anything to do with a person's ability of whether they're going to be even prosperity is not a reason for them to stick around. They got prosperity and still want to check the hell out of here. Go figure, y'all. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.